Hello and welcome to the World Today on Channels Television. I'm Cynthia Ara. Here are top stories. Now it's the second day of the sentencing hearing of Paralympic star Oscar Pistorius for the murder of his girlfriend Riva Steenkamp on February the 14th, 2013. The prosecutor deems the move made by his team an attempt to further the athlete's career by suggesting that he engage in charity work. Last month, the athlete was found guilty of culpable homicide of Ms. Steenkamp and was cleared of murder. The defense is trying to show prison would be an inappropriate punishment. In order to do that, it has produced a second witness to say that Pistorius showed real remorse and his disability would be a problem in jail. For more, I'm now being joined live from South Africa by our correspondent Betty Debia to tell us more about what's happening concerning the sentencing hearing or case. Thank you, Betty, for joining us again on The World Today. We appreciate your time. Now, could you just give us, you were in court today. Thank you, Betty. You were in court today. Could you just give us a rundown of what happened?
Why should he be blamed?
Well, what happened today, the cross-examination of the manager or agent of Pistorius continues today, and the prosecuting counsel, Harry Nell, tried to establish that despite the extensive list of charity work that Oscar is said to be doing, it's not totally from, like what it's doing is obligatory with regard to the endorsements, the sponsors that he has. So he tried to not make light of it, but, not make him look like a saint with a halo, in trying to show the kind of person he is and how the society will lose, quite a number of people will lose out from how good he's been with a lot of people if he were put in jail. And then the next witness today was she's a parole officer who is working in private practice, brought by the defense today as well. That's the fourth witness for the defense, and probably the last. She presented a report recommending the same thing that the correctional service officer yesterday, Joe Baringa, recommended that he be placed on correctional supervision, that's house arrest, among other things, and not to be put to jail. To try to establish that the conditions in the prison were really not good enough for a disabled person, and that he showed remorse and all that. Well, we know how that went down with the prosecuting counsel, Harry Nell, who tried to take a lot of holes in some of the assumptions that she made, which were not primary, they were secondary, with some reports or assumptions she took from, as she said, from the internet, from some other people's reports, and tried to establish that the conditions for those who have been convicted is totally different and much better than those awaiting trial. And she admitted that as well. Of course, the aspect that did a lot of things was the issue of the money, which was part of what was raised in court. The 335,000 rand, that's over 6 million naira, I think, that he presented to the parents, which they rejected. But it was also established that he had been paying 6,000 rand, that's an equivalent of 12,000, that's 120,000 naira to the family, which now it's being said that they will fund in full. But we don't know how, the defense said they'll issue a statement with regards to that tomorrow. So we'll be watching to see if this will end, and probably the prosecution will present their witnesses for aggravation of sentence. But it was quite stressful in court today with that parole officer who wouldn't answer questions. You remember the judge had to intervene at a point, that she had to answer some of the questions or handle the questions properly. But we're watching to see what's going to happen. But this may not end this week.
Now, Betty, you mentioned about the family rejecting the money that was offered to them by Oscar Pistorius. I'd just like to ask you how they are reacting.
That's the lump sum.
Yes, that was rejected by the Steenkamps, if I heard you correctly.
Yes.
So what I'm asking you now is, how are they reacting to what's happening right now in court, or what's been going on for the past 2 days?
He can only be blamed for himself because he
The reaction, they're
Why
seeing
should he be blamed?
over and over again recommendations for him not to spend time in jail,
Correct in terms of
but to have restricted movement, but outside jail. It's hard to predict, but they'll never get their daughter back. So I'll leave you to imagine how they will be feeling. But even if he's put in jail, but I'm sure all they want is justice to be done. But let's see how the witnesses for the prosecution will do. Probably will get more information as well. But they will not be testifying so far. They will not.
Okay. Betsy, we really appreciate you joining us again on The World Today. Thank you so much for the updates, and we hope to reach out to you again tomorrow when the next hearing takes place. Thank you so much.